मेरा नाम है हुमा खान और आप देख रहे हैं आइज ऑन एंटरटेनमेंट सिविलाइज के प्लेटफॉर्म पर। आज हमारे साथ हैं पाकिस्तान के हार्ट थ्रॉब एंड वेरी सक्सेसफुल सिंगर, एक्टर, म्यूजिशियन हारून शाहिद. हारून, वेलकम टू द शो.
Assalamu alaikum ji, and thank you for having me on the show.
No, it's a pleasure speaking to you. तो आपकी काफी मैंने वीडियोस वगैरह में देख रही थी, रिसर्च अपना कर रही थी. So your music is impeccable, कहना जरूरी है. तो मुझे आप बताएं, आपकी शुरुआत वैसे म्यूजिक से हुई थी. How did that start?
Oh, well, I started way back, well, not, yeah, you can call it way back. It's been 10 years or so. Primarily, even if abhi bhi log mujhse jab पूछते हैं कि, are you a musician or are you an actor? So, the first reply that comes to mind is that I'm a musician. And yeah, so back in 2010 I had a band called Simp, and we launched our first music video in 2010, and since then, slightly, we just gained a little bit of popularity. Along the way, we got onto platforms like Coke Studio and Pepsi Smash, and we started playing live concerts. Unfortunately, that was also the time when Pakistan was going through its worst phase of terrorism, and slowly and steadily by mid 2015, 2016, there was no live music that was happening in Pakistan. So that was the time when a slight switchover came from music to acting, and even though it wasn't really planned, nothing was really planned of becoming an actor for sure.
Right. अक्सर ऐसे ही होता है कि जो हम प्लान बनाते हैं वो होता नहीं है, लेकिन एक डिवाइन एक अनफोल्डिंग होती है सीक्वेंसेस.
एग्जैक्टली. अब मुझसे जब भी कोई पूछता है कि यार वो आप बताएं कि आपका 10-year प्लान या 5-year में अपने आप को कहाँ देख रहे हैं, so I just tell them that I think that's the most difficult question to answer, at least in my own opinion, because 10 years ago, if you'd ask me, oh, do you want to act? Do you want to do dramas? I'd be like, nah, I'm not interested at all. In fact, if you would ask me 3 years ago do you want to go into acting? I'd be like, no, I'm not really interested. So I think things, at least for me, I don't know, they kind of happened out of the blue.
Right. तो आपको डिस्कवर एक टैलेंट शो पर किया गया था, तो उसके बारे में मुझे बताएं.
I wouldn't say that it was a discovery. I think it was more of a chance that I got onto go. There were these auditions, there was a show called Pakistan Sangeet Icon, and we're talking about 2007, 2008, and I was called in for an audition. I gave the audition, I passed the audition, and I went on to the show. That's the first time that I realized, because I'm not a trained singer, and I realized at that point that as a singer, I have a lot of a long way to go, and but it made me understand a lot about how the industry, especially the television industry, works. And it's unfortunate, but I guess that's how it is across the world, where it's just not limited as far as singing is concerned, and being a musician is concerned. It's just not about being a good singer. It's a lot more. It's about how you carry yourself. It's about how you look, which do sound a little superficial, because that's not what you're supposed to be doing. But it does play a part. And on that show, I kind of realized that how cutthroat and how evil, mainstream television and the music industry is.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it is. But I think it should be changing by now. तो आपका segue into dramatic acting, आपने ड्रामों में जब शुरू किया, how did you enter that scene there?
Again, nothing was really planned. Actually, I started off with a film. It was called Varna by Shoaib Mansoor.
Myra Khan.
And with Myra Khan. And that was in 2017. And again, I meet these actors every other day on set. These new actors, younger actors, and they're like, "Okay, yaar, how do we get into acting?" Or people who want to who aspire to become actors. And I tell them that, okay, I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to go get a job, and every day hope that, you know, let's hope that you get a break into the industry. Keep on working hard. Keep trying to remain fit. Work on your skill. Uh, Play music, and maybe you'll become an actor. And that's how I got into acting, because one fine day I was at work, and I got a call from Shoaib Saab saying that, and I had met Shoaib Saab back in 2011, and he was like, Harun, मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप film करें. And I was like, wow, अच्छा, you want me to like act in a film?
Right.
And then I thought it would be like a small little role, but he's like, Harun, it's one of the main characters of the film. And I was like, okay. And the funny thing is that the film was actually, he had lined up Karina to do the film. And unfortunately or fortunately, Karina uh, was expecting a child by the middle of it, and then Myra came in.
आपकी शुरुआत फिल्म से हुई, and then when did you find out कि आप माहिरा खान के साथ co-star करेंगे, and वो feeling कैसी थी आपकी?
Like I said, my initial feeling was that, wow, and like मैं अभी भी सबको ये बता रहा हूँ कि यार, it was so awkward for me, that my first day on set, I was first day ever in front of a camera to act, and it's एक तरफ मैं देख रहा हूँ तो शोएब मंसूर साहब खड़े में कैमरे के पीछे, और दूसरी तरफ मैं देख रहा हूँ तो माहिरा खान बैठी हुई है in the car, and it's the only light-hearted romantic scene of the whole film, right before this song called Sambhal Sambhal. And we have this little conversation in the car, and I'm like, yaar, ye kya ho raha hai? Because I had no clue where to look, where the camera is, how do I,
Right.
how do we communicate? I had no clue. So that was my beginning, and that was my first day on set, where I had no clue as to what I was doing. I think at times I still don't know what I'm doing on set, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's
There's something
overwhelming.
wrong with my-
We're good.
Okay, yeah.
तो शोएब साहब ने जब आपको चूज किया, आपकी उनसे बातचीत हुई होगी, what was his reasoning? What inspired him to kind of आपको guide करना acting की तरफ?
I don't know. I think that that's how Shoaib Saab has always, functioned and picked up actors out of the blue. If you look back in 2011, nobody knew who Myra Khan was, where she came in from. She was a VJ on ARG TV, and all of a sudden, boom, you see Myra playing a character opposite Atif Aslam.
Yeah.
So I think I had two things going for me. And if you look at back in 2007, when Fawad Khan came in, he came in out of the blue for Khuda Ke Liye.
Right.
And nobody really knew, at least on the bigger platforms, nobody really knew who Fawad was. So in my case, I had two things going, that nobody really knew who I was, and secondly, I was a musician, so he had that connection. Even in the film, I had this connection with music as well. So that's the only reasoning that I was chosen to do the part.
Right. तो उन्होंने आपको काफी ट्रेन भी किया था, एंड आपको स्टेप बाय स्टेप ले जाके एक्टिंग भी सिखाई थी, क्योंकि आप ट्रेन्ड एक्टर नहीं हैं. Was it helpful to you, or how much of an influence did he play in helping you perfect your acting?
Oh my God. Like Shoaib Saab, not just acting, just Shoaib Saab is someone who I've spent hours and hours. And for me, I keep on telling this to people, that Shoaib Saab for me I was never, obviously, like, I knew how big he was in the drama circle, in the film circle and all, but for me, he's always been or the reason for me to be in love with his work was with his association with Vital Signs and writing all those songs for Vital Signs.
Right.
He's a fantastic lyricist and probably the only pop lyricist in Pakistan who writes these songs so naturally. And for me, when I got to work with Shoaib Saab, that was a bigger connection when I had a guitar in my hand and I had Shoaib Saab sitting on the other side of the table, and he's like, Haroon, kuch koi melody hum karo, and I want, this is the situation and this is the sort of song that I want, and I'm strumming my guitar and I'm thinking, and he's writing down lyrics, and that was the moment where I was like, wow, this is what the Vital Signs have gone through. This is what Junaid Jamshed has been through with Shoaib Mansoor, starting all the way from where he had the concept of Dil Dil Pakistan to everything, from 50/50, the comedy show, to up until Bol. That every time that I'd be there, I'd be like, wow, man, there's so much history, there's so much to learn from him. And yeah, so I think Shoaib Saab, as far as my acting is concerned, he just kept on saying one thing, that do not overact. You underact, underacting फिर भी बर्दाश्त हो जाती है, but overacting जो है ना वो बर्दाश्त नहीं होती. So it took me time. It's not like I still haven't, but it's not like I blew away everyone with my performance in the film. No, I did not. Unfortunately, the film didn't do well. The film kind of went to all right. It wasn't a hit. So for me, for a lot of people, I keep on telling them that, you see, at times you feel, oh wow, yaar, Shoaib Mansoor, Myra Khan ke opposite aa gaya, ye to bhai superstar hai and all of that. That's not how it worked, at least not for me. And I learned that your opportunities are good if they come to you, but what the outcome of those opportunities are is what makes you successful or unsuccessful. So I didn't give up. I was like, hey, it's all right. I went back to work. I went back to what I had a job 9 to 5 right after the film. And for a year or so, I was like, it's just going to be 9 to 5 work, and then probably music in the evening. And uske baad, things took a turn for the better still not for the better, because I did another. So my first play was Tajdeed-e-Wafa on Hum TV, and I did that, and that flopped, and that was like, oh, okay, अच्छा ये अब सीन है, ठीक है यार, चलो वापस चलते हैं. But then while I was doing Tajdeed-e-Wafa, I just picked up this project that was offered to me by Sana Shahnawaz, and it was called Do Bol.
Right.
And Do Bol went like mega big,
big hit.
That was a mass hit, and I was like, all of a sudden, everything just kind of flipped over, and everybody's calling me Sameer, and I'm going out to eat, and I go out to these random places, and I'm having food on the roadside and with my friends, and they're like, and the guy who comes up with the waiter, and he's like, Sameer Saab, and everybody's like, who's Sameer? What's Sameer? And I was like, dude, this is this character that I'm playing these days, and that made it big, for me. Do Bol, and then after Do Bol came Khas, which was on Hum TV, and that was with Sanam Baloch and Ali Rahman, and that did really well. So yeah, and since then, I'm learning every day. Every day I'm on set. The more the opportunities that you get, I keep on telling people that we're kind of lucky in a way that we have an industry where you're learning on set from scratch, literally from scratch. I did not go to any acting school. I did not have any formal, education regarding acting. And on my first, uh, when I was working with Shoaib Saab, I had learned all my dialogues by heart before going on set. So I thought that that's how it would work. But then these huge drama scripts came, and I was like, okay, how am I supposed to learn all of these? And then I used to write down all my dialogues,
Yeah.
and I used just to memorize them.
Yeah.
And because I was really horrible at memorizing dialogues, and that would affect my acting. But slowly and steadily, doing it day in, day out, over and over and over again, recently I've been getting messages that I'm probably the greatest actor in Pakistan. So people are messaging me, and I'm like, wow.
आपको अगर लोग आपके कैरेक्टर के नाम से पुकार रहे हैं, that's a testament in itself कि you must have done a good job कि वो मतलब they're actually referring to you with your character's name. So
or probably they need to improve their standards of what's good or what's not. But yeah, I मैं फिर भी यही कहता हूँ यार कि अल्लाह का बहुत बहुत शुक्र है because I'm lucky. That's all I can say. वरना आज भी मेरे सामने यहाँ पे I can tell you that कि 10 और लोग हैं who are probably much more talented and who've probably worked way more harder to probably be in the position where I am today without doing or struggling for it as much. But I did struggle a lot for music, and that's what I keep on telling people, that it's not like I did not struggle. There is a struggle, and there is a massive struggle from where I started to where I am today. And my mother can tell you this, my wife can tell you this, that where I started from to where I am today, it hasn't been all about just because I'm lucky I did it.
Yeah. That's very interesting. So let's go back a little bit, backtrack to your band. आप लोग काफी consistent थे म्यूजिक बनाने में, and then उसकी रुकावट कैसे हुई, and did you miss it? आपको मतलब did you really miss it when you started to segue and get more notoriety acting के लिए?
Yeah, it still hurts in a way because you see, I believe like they're really good songs. Like if you go back and listen to Simp, that's what the band was called. There are songs like Koi Labda. There are songs like Tum Kaho, and these are songs on Coke Studio that I did. And later on I did Baliye, which initially I did with my band, but on Coke Studio I did it with Kurtula and Baloch, and that song did well. Yeah.
Amazing.
So Long Gawacha Baliye and all of that. So it kind of does hurt because aaj bhi log aake when I have a certain fan following now, and people come up to me and say, "Oh, aap gaate bada achhe hain, aap gaate bhi hain," and I'm like, yeah, and half of the people, which is weird, and ye almiya hamari industry ka ye hai. So recently I did a song called Dil Se for Pepsi, and it had Fawad in it, Aima Beg, and two other musicians from Pepsi Battle of the Bands, and we did it for PSL. So there was this other song that Asim Azhar, Ali Azmat, and Arif Lahore, and Haroon Rashid did.
Wow.
The singer from Awaz.
Yes.
And aap ye dekhein that for over a month I was getting calls from these big media houses, from Jio, from Sama, saying, "Assalamu alaikum ji, Haroon, aapse baat karni hai about your song that you did for PSL." And I'm like, okay, which song are you talking about? And they're like, "Tayyar Hain." And I was like, "Tayyar Hain is not my song." He's like, "Aren't you Haroon Rashid?" No, I'm Haroon Shahid. And if you can't tell the difference between Haroon Rashid, who's like a legend as far as I'm concerned, because growing up I've seen him perform, I've heard their music with Awaz and him and Sir and Asad Ahmed, and a majority of your industry doesn't know what's the difference between Haroon Shahid, who's pretty much a newbie as far as Haroon Rashid is concerned, because he's done so much work.
Yeah. So आप acting में आपने ज़ाहिर है venture किया, तो did you what are some of the projects that you look forward to working on, some genres that you may want to touch upon जो आपने अभी तक नहीं किए?
Okay, I think that I like to challenge myself. I'd like to challenge myself at some point, because I think that comedy is something that is really difficult.
Yeah.
And it's really challenging, and the timing and all of that. मायरा खान भी मुझे, जब मैं सीरियस एक्टिंग कर रहा था, कहती यार हारून तुम कॉमेडी करो, कसम से बड़े फिट करोगे. एंड लाइक या मैं कॉमेडी करना चाहता हूँ. So yeah, I want to do comedy at some point, and I think that I think I'll do really well at doing comedy, but I fear it because I think that it's really difficult. But I think I'll be able to pull that off. So that's something that I have, let's say, on my bucket list that I want to do. I want to do a comic book.
Yeah, that would be interesting. It's definitely timing, and you really have to kind of get into but then to conquer your fear. So that's we'll look forward to seeing that. So let's talk about something a little controversial. As in every industry, nepotism काफी role play करता है. तो आपने like first hand notice किया या देखा है पाकिस्तानी film industry में, drama, music industry में कि ये चीज exist करती है?
100%. I think ये exist करती है in the sense that I hate to say it, I believe there is the whole casting couch वाला scene भी किसी level पे होगा यहाँ पे. I haven't experienced it, thank God I haven't. But I feel कि ये it is there, and it's there in every other industry in Pakistan. आप देखें यहाँ पे तो nepotism तो है, and it's there. It's definitely there. It's there. It's unfortunately it's there in our structure as a country. Whether you pick up politics, you'll see, you know, सबसे बड़ी बर्बादी आपके मुल्क की वहीं से शुरू होती है. If you look at the political scenario where there's nepotism, if you go to the banking industry, you'll see कि वहाँ पे भी एक तरीके से nepotism है. If you go name it and you'll find it there at some point, at some level, it's going to be there.
दुनिया भर में प्रॉब्लम है, खास तौर के मतलब एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री में आई थिंक, एंड इट्स अनफॉर्चुनेट क्योंकि टैलेंट seems to matter less than who you know, या किसके बच्चे हैं आप या किसके साथ आप affiliated हैं. And
but I have another take on it. I also feel that nepotism or safarish and all of this can only take you to a certain level. And I have examples of it. I'm not going to take names, but there are a lot of actor के बच्चे industry में हमारे who are not big, who are big probably because they married another actor or actress, but who are not big in terms of their work. If you look at their work and you'd ask them कि अच्छा आपने काम क्या किया है किसी भी industry में, आप कहोगे कि यार other than doing mediocre work, we don't know what these guys have done, and they've done a lot of work.
Right.
But then again, they do not get the same amount of attention that people who you know at some level achieve a certain body of work. And I'll also give you an example. Not that, and I think there's a lot of pressure when you come through, or if you come with a tag that your dad was an actor in the past. And I'll give you an example of Ahad Razamir. And Ahad ko aap dekhein ki he had a lot of pressure when he came in first, because everybody was like, oh ye to ji Asif saab ka beta hai, Asif Razamir ka beta hai, and but over time, but over time he proved himself as an actor as well, and as a performer. ठीक है, जो चीज उसको शायद नहीं करनी चाहिए थी, या he got into it a little too early, because I also believe that he's also a good musician as well, that he can sing and he can play the instrument and all. When he did that on Coke Studio, he got bashed for it. And that was, why did he get bashed for it? Because everybody felt that no, he's out of place doing this right now, and he shouldn't have done it. But that doesn't mean that he's not good at it. But just because of the fact that if anybody else would have done it, it would have made news and it would have passed by. Because unfortunately, that whole season got bashed. Season 11 that we're talking about, Coke Studio. So Ahad is a great example of someone who's broken away from that tag. You know, he's a star child, but he's proved himself over time with his work. And so that's why I'm only going to name the only success story that I can narrate right now of someone who's done this.
So public eye में होना, it's a big responsibility, and काफी आपको public से feedback मिलती है, positive भी, negative भी. So, do we have a guest?
Yeah, we have this guest who likes to enter in every other conversation that I have. Musa, I'm gonna come in a bit. Okay, bye. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. क्या मैं कह रही थी? तो आपको public, we were talking about just public opinion and feedback जो आपको मिलती है. Criticisms भी मिलती होंगी आपको. How do you deal with that? Like किस तरह आप deal करते हैं जब आपको कोई आपके काम को कोई नापसंद करता है या just negative feedback?
अच्छा, so I think that it comes with the whole package.
Right.
And rather than the only thing that you need to start training are people around you. Like for instance, I have to train my wife now that people are going to go around and they're going to comment.
Right.
You don't have to take it to your heart.
Right.
Initially she'd be upset that, oh, why did somebody say this? Why did somebody say that? With her, in fact, she went through this at a point where she's like, oh, don't put up a picture of me, online, because there are people who pass weird and obnoxious comments just because I don't know, they have a sad life or something. But this is a part of it. And with time, you learn that यार आपको जहाँ 100 लोग आपको प्यार दे रहे हैं वहाँ 2 लोग आपसे आके बदतमीजी भी करेंगे या फजूल बात भी कहेंगे. हाँ, at times I don't mind if somebody comes up and says कि यार कैरेक्टर नहीं अच्छा लगा या मैं आपकी एक्टिंग नहीं अच्छी लगी. It's their opinion, and that is, I can tell you, people who come up to me and say कि यार रॉबर्ट डिनेरो को एक्टिंग नहीं आती या वो एक ही तरह का काम करता रहता है. तो यार अगर उनके बारे में लोग बात कर रहे हैं तो फिर हम कौन है? So ये तो चलता है यार. Everybody's going to have an opinion on it.
Right. And you just use that feedback to just correct yourself, or improve yourself.
Of course, and I think that if you're good at self-assessment and if you don't want to live in a fool's paradise, the best way to work in that regard is that leave your ego at home when you're on set. That's what I've done over the past 2 years. That I've gotten to hear a lot of awkward and weird stuff from my directors, but I've taken it, and I've taken it in a way that I felt, that aisa hi hai, and I have to leave my ego at home because I'm going to learn through this.
Yeah, that's the only way I think to succeed in life, right? So let's backtrack. आपका जो childhood था, ज़ाहिर है you're artistic since you were young. Who were some of the people that you looked up to musically, or any artists that you really admired?
Recently I was 2 days ago I was in Karachi and I was at work, and I was living at a place near the Sunset Club. The Sunset Club in Karachi is a pretty old club, and that's the first place in 1992 where I attended my first music concert, and my mother had taken me and my siblings to a concert of the Vital Signs, and that's the first moment when I saw them play. I was like, wow, this is so cool, and this is what I want to be. I want to be a musician. So yeah, I think the Vital Signs has been a great influence on me, and yeah, like Shoaib Mansoor, I think that he's one of those people who I find they've got so much knowledge and so much to talk about that aap unke saath baithe rahe. And the best thing that I felt with Shoaib Saab was that you know, just to kind of break the ice, he's like, Haroon, we have to be friends before we start working.
Yeah.
So me and I call him my friend
Yeah.
now. We are more friends than him being a mentor or anything. He's more of a friend with who I can call and get in touch with anytime I want to, and yeah, and have a chat.
हाँ, तो आपकी जुनैद जमशेद के साथ भी इंटरेक्शन हुई थी, उसके बारे में मुझे थोड़ा सा बताएं, because he was somebody
Yeah,
you looked up to.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
was that experience like?
This was in 2015 or 2016, before he passed away, and we were recording this musical show that was happening on ARY, and ARY का जहाँ the set लगा हुआ था वो उनके स्टूडियो पे था, और उसी के साथ आगे QTV, I think it's Quran TV, उसका set लगा हुआ था. So he was passing by and he heard us play, and I'm playing music, and all of a sudden I see this figure on stage, and everybody else stopped, and I'm playing because I was singing, and I was like, who's, and I looked on my right, and it was Junaid Jamshed, and he's like, yaar, why did you guys stop? Ruk kyun gaye ho, bajao? And he went in front and he took a chair and he sat, and he said, apna koi gana bajao, and we played a song of ours, and then he's like, अच्छा मेरा हमारा कोई गाना बजाओ. So I knew because he was a Maulvi by then.
Yeah.
So we kind of we played a song called वो कौन थी तमाम शहर उसके हुस्न में घूमता, and he kept on laughing, and he kept on like saying, oh my god, don't do that, don't, that's not a good song. And then he's like, अच्छा मैं भी आके गाऊं, and we're like, sure. So
Wow.
he came up and he sang Etabar. He sang Etabar. And I remember the producer yelling at all the cameramen over there that don't you dare, turn the camera, record this, and just let him do what he wants. And I remember everyone in that, there were around like 30 to 40 people, and everybody had tears in their eyes when Junaid Jamshed was singing and we were playing Etabar. And that was a really beautiful moment. And I remember before he was leaving, he hugged everyone, and he came up to me and he just said randomly, I didn't even ask him, and he said that Haroon, kabhi ye mat sochna ke kya galat hai ki kya sahi hai. Just follow your heart and do whatever that you're doing. And I was like, fantastic, sir. I'll do that. Thank you.
Which is
that was
amazing.
That was Junaid Jamshed. So I was lucky to have worked with everybody associated with the vital signs. From Junaid Jamshed, well, not really worked, but have met all these people. Shoaib Mansoor, Ruhail Hayat, Shahi Hassan, all of these core members of the vital signs. Yeah.
That's amazing, because I mean, obviously he went on a religious, path.
Yeah.
For him to be able to reconcile कि जी आप religion भी follow कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ये कोई गुनाह नहीं है per se, but you should still follow your heart. एक इंसान में
I guess that's another debate altogether, whether वो गुनाह है कि नहीं है, because
मतलब
that's what he himself said. यार मत सोचो, अगर तुम्हें वो पाथ मिलना होगा या तुम्हें उस पर जाना होगा, तो you'll find a way yourself. So just follow your heart and know that you're not doing this to hurt anyone or to misguide anyone.
ये टैलेंट भी मतलब एक कुदरती टैलेंट होता है, आपकी सिंगिंग आवाज पैदाइशी एक गिफ्ट होता है, तो that in itself is an indication. हमेशा
Mama. Yeah, go to mom. Go bring my charger, phone charger. Ja. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. It's a very casual interview, so that's my घर वाली बात. So अब कोरोना की थोड़ी सी बात करते हैं. पाकिस्तान के हालात काफी controversial भी हैं, complicated भी हैं. Aap as a star, like, how are you dealing with it? Do you obviously miss working and whatnot, and just overall halat जो हैं,
okay,
में आपके क्या है?
But before that, I think I'm really low on battery. Can I go and get my charger?
Yeah. I'm
before
sure
this we cut off in the middle of it.
No problem. I think we could take a short break maybe. तो बात कर रहे थे कोरोना वायरस की, तो पाकिस्तान में जो हाल है उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा फीडबैक दें. What's your thoughts on it, and what are the difficulties you're seeing?
यार मैं क्या कहूँ? Okay, just sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. This is making for an entertaining show.
Okay, he wants you guys to know that he's watching Ertugrul. That's what he's been trying to time for some odd reason. Okay, thank you. They're saying very nice. Okay, then the job.
Very good.
Okay.
अच्छी बात है. Islamic history.
Yeah, Islamic history. Yeah. So with Corona, so I've seen the worst recently of both sides, and I've understood. I've understood how desperate people are in Pakistan, and मुझे बड़ा अजीब लगता है जब लोग कंपैरिजन शुरू कर देते हैं कि यार वो न्यूजीलैंड में उन्होंने इरेडिकेट कर लिया इसको और वो इसलिए कर लिया है कि और या जर्मनी में उसको बड़े अच्छे तरीके से उन्होंने टैकल कर दिया है. आपका सबसे बड़ा मसला यहाँ पे दो बहुत बड़े मसले हैं. एक तो एजुकेशन तो है ही है, उसके बाद ओवर पॉपुलेशन. आप यू आर 220 मिलियन. आप न्यूजीलैंड जर्मनी आप आधा यूरोप मिला लो, उसके बावजूद भी आपकी उनकी इतनी पॉपुलेशन नहीं जितनी पाकिस्तान अलोन की है, विद द 5th largest country in the world. It's difficult for people. It's very difficult for people. I was on set recently जहां मुझे आके लड़के कह रहे थे कि sir, we've been out of work for the past 2.5 months and कोरोना तो नहीं गया, but अगर आप मुझे आज कहेंगे ना कि मैं लेदर जैकेट में आके अपने आप को जिप अप करके और मास्क पहन के आप सेट पे काम कर लूं ताकि हमें कोरोना ना हो, तो मैं करने के लिए तैयार हूं. Because I don't have money. I don't have money. And यार क्या कंपेयर कर सकते हैं हम? So Corona has taught us a lot of things, that poverty is the biggest problem the world has, by far. It's actually it's as bad as Corona, if not worse. No, Corona की तो शायद हमें वैक्सीन मिल जाएगी. I hope so. But poverty, do you see an end to poverty in the next 100 years? I don't see that happening. So yeah. So I think that this is something that that Corona has really taught me, and it's also taught me that you need to have a lot of savings in your account to survive. You never know what's going to happen next.
Right.
Even though I'm like I go around and I spend a lot of money randomly, but this has given me a wake up call as well, that don't take it for granted, and save up.
Bilkul. No, that's very important. Education is one thing, I think. And what about the rumor mill? कि मतलब एक hearsay होती है, rumor शुरू हो जाते हैं. I think लोग seriously नहीं ले रहे हैं इस issue को. तो what is it? I think that's a big roadblock. What are your thoughts on that?
यार
मतलब information गलत pass हो रही है and लोग seriously नहीं ले रहे हैं इस चीज को.
यार देखिए, the problem is that information गलत हो रही है या सही हो रही है, the fact remains that the onus is not on somebody else, or not any government guy to come up and tell me कि यार आके मास्क पहनो, अपने हाथ धो. And to be very honest, जो हमारे जो negativity लोग फैलाते रहते हैं यहाँ पे, I don't want to get into politics, but I see this happening from day one. Your prime minister has come up and he's been saying this from day one. Fine, he said that it's a flu, but everybody thought that it was a flu when it came in. If you look, I've heard it on every other foreign channel as well, where even ये जो Jacinda Ardern है, if you listen to her initial comments on Corona, she said that we've learned that it's somewhat a flu, but over time, the things have, and it's still evolving. We still don't know whether आप touch करने से आपको या off surfaces वो फैल रहा है कि नहीं फैल रहा. अगर आप asymptomatic है तो कितने chances हैं of you getting or spreading the virus? We don't know anything about it yet. मगर यहाँ पे लोगों ने बस तबाही फेर दी कि यार हमें तो गवर्नमेंट ही बताएगी तो करेंगे. And that, उससे बड़ी एग्जांपल मैं आपको देता हूँ. has been जो पाकिस्तान का असल मसला है वो पॉपुलेशन है. अब आप मुझे ये बताएं कि contraceptives and you know making sure that you reduce the number of kids in your family,
birth control,
इतने अरसे आप birth control के लिए people have been killed over it. Why? Because they're like, oh ये क्यों आ रहे हैं जी हमें बताने के लिए? Why is the government telling us कि आप आके जी बच्चे कम पैदा करें और ये कौन होते हैं हमें पैदा करने वाले? तो ये आपके सामने है. तो ये जो कोरोना में हो रहा है, for me it's not a shock कि अगर आप सड़क पे जाएं और लोग आपको कह रहे हैं कि जी ओ जी कोई कोरोना कुछ नहीं हैगा जी, ऐसे बस जी गल्ला ने हस्पताल और हस्पताल नहीं जाना, हस्पताल जाओगे तो जी वहां आपको जी वो मार देंगे क्योंकि उनको 5 लाख रुपए मिलेंगे. एंड यू गेट टू हियर सो मेनी वियर्ड स्टोरीज. और क्या बात है कि यार भाई सबसे पहले एक बेसिक चीज तो कर लो कि ये मास्क पहन लो, अपने हाथों को साफ करो, फासला रखो, ना जाके लोग एक दूसरे को झपियां डालें. मगर नहीं जी हमने तो करना है क्योंकि ये तो झूठ है और ये कोई साजिश है. So it's horrible, and but I also believe that in a place like Pakistan, uh, I've learned this. मैं शुरू में बड़ा इस चीज के हक में था कि यार you know just lock the whole country down and shut it down. But when I met these guys अभी on set recently, they're like sir आप 2 हफ्ते की बात कर रहे हैं लॉकडाउन की. वो कहते सर हम 2 दिन नहीं सर्वाइव कर सकते क्योंकि मैं दिन का यहाँ से 500 रुपए 1000 रुपया लेके जाता हूँ घर. आई एम नॉट on a salary over here, and this is the guy who's fixing the light, this is the guy who's the electrician on my set, and they're saying sir that we need money every day, every day to survive, and how are we going to do it? जो हमारा किराए वाला है, जो हमारी बिजली वाला है, वो किस तरह करेंगे? So you know it's unfortunately हमने अपनी true colors दिखाए हैं इसके अंदर भी कोरोना में कि हम और फिर वो माइंड कर जाते हैं, मगर हम काफी जाहिल लोग हैं to be very honest.
I mean, the truth is always painful to hear, लेकिन कहना भी जरूरी होता है. You have to confront it. कि इस तरह फिर मतलब you have to start the dialogue, and you know accountability is big. कि हर इंसान you know अपने ऊपर मतलब responsibility ले, अपनी behavior change करे, तब ही कोई बेहतरी होगी आगे.
बिल्कुल ऐसी बात है. और यही बात है कि आप देखिए कि कोई अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेने के लिए तैयार ही नहीं है. सब कह रहे हैं कि नहीं जी वो फलाना आएगा तो कुछ करेगा हमारे लिए तो हम करेंगे, वरना जी गवर्नमेंट की गलती है. मतलब यार अगर आपने फिर यही करना है तो फिर अल्लाह ही हाफिज है, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. एंड यू नो देयर इज आप ओवरऑल अभी भी देखें तो फॉर सम ऑड रीजन हम तो बचे हुए हैं अभी भी. We haven't faced corona the way the other you know the western world has faced. और जो अभी इंडिया में हाल हो रहा है, people are dying at a really you know जो डेथ रेट है उनका काफी ज्यादा है हमसे. So for some odd reason हम अभी भी बचे हुए.
So we should take advantage. Yeah, no. तो थोड़ा सा आपके काफी fans और followers हैं जो मतलब it would probably be helpful like if you can give them a little message on what your thoughts are, you know, maybe tell them कि आप लोग घर रहें, you know, take precautions because you have 4 minutes.
If you can afford to stay home, stay home, and if you can't afford to stay home, then please take those necessary precautions because they're your best chance. And I believe that, you know, I don't know how long this will take, but I doubt there's anybody in Pakistan who can say कि यार मैं easily साल भी बैठ जाऊंगा घर तो कोई मसला नहीं होगा, because it's not going to happen. You never know. 1 साल से ज्यादा 2 साल 3 साल लग जाए for a proper vaccine to come out. क्या करेंगे आप तक? So we have to आप मरेंगे तो हम भी मरेंगे. We're all in this together. So it's for us to make those choices.
No, and I know that message will be heard inshallah by everyone watching. तो अब serious topic से थोड़ा सा back to let's get to something artistic and happy and musical. तो आपका गिटार मेरे ख्याल कहीं आसपास में है.
Guitar, okay. Musa, can you bring Baba's guitar?
It would be great if you could sing us something.
Okay, I'll play a song. And my assistant, who's been really kind today, he's been actually really helpful. You guys are lucky that He's been around.
No, he's
And yeah, so I think I'm gonna sing a song from the film Sambhal Sambhal, which is I think one of my favorite songs. Um, and yeah, I think, like I said, that for me, having the opportunity to work with Shoaib Saab
Mhm.
uh, in the capacity of a musician is actually something that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
He's just too good. He's just too good when it comes to playing music and to writing music. This is gonna be Sambhal Sambhal. दिल में तो हमेशा तेरे मेरे घर में अब आए हो मन चाही शामें है मन मांगे सुबह लाए हो कि अभी तो है सिलसिले प्यार के हुए शुरू धीरे धीरे हौले हौले चले संभल संभल के लिए तो खूब गुजरेगी जिंदगी अपनी हो रहेंगे मस्ताने सब ज़मानों सब मौसमों में हम सब मौसमों में हम सब मौसमों में हम
Wow, zabardast, excellent, excellent. What a treat, what a treat.
Thank you.
और बैकअप आपका बैकअप डांसर उनके लिए भी जरा थोड़ी तालियां बजा ले पीछे.
I had my eyes closed, but as I saw a glimpse of him doing a little dance in the background.
बाबा का म्यूजिक, right? Excellent. तो आपके जो नया गाना है आपके पास कोई, or something that you can share?
Oh, yeah. So I have quite a few new songs that I've written. There's this other song that I did for this play, but a lot of people have really liked that. It's still unreleased, but I'll play that. It's called I don't have a name for it yet, but it's called Jam Area. Yeah. चुपके से आके फिर चले जाना तुमने ये हमसे कैसे बार बार खेल खेला नजरें मिला के नजरें चुराना दिल का ये तूने मेरा चैन करार छीना फिर भी कहा ये दिल ने तुमसे ही प्यार है कहता रहेगा बार बार जा मेरी ये तेरे बिन एक पल दिल में संभल पाएगा ना बे बस ये दिल मेरा तेरे बिन कुछ भी समझ पाएगा ना जा मेरी ये.
Wow, ये तो लगता है आपने अपनी बेगम के लिए लिखा है. Is that true?
हाँ, अमूमन ज़्यादातर गाने बेगम के लिए लिखे जाते हैं.
Very nice. So let's talk about that a little bit. I know it must be difficult, being in the spotlight and being in, the public eye all the time. I know कि criticism की तो बात हुई थी, but how about your fan following as far as, female fans or whatnot? How does she deal with that?
Well, that's actually a little difficult to answer at times, but I think that
it comes with the territory.
Yeah, she's fine with it. Up to hum, it's been easier since malls and ye cafes and restaurants band hai. But
Huh,
it does get a little irritating at times if
I was gonna say,
if you're out and people just keep on randomly, especially when you're eating.
yeah.
So khana khate हुए, they're like, while you're eating, they're like, excuse me, can I take a picture? And I'm like, okay, yaar, hum khana kha rahe hain. तो ये कुछ चीजें होती हैं जो irritate करती हैं. But other than that, I think that she's also, so when if and when we ever go to a mall, I know for a fact that she doesn't hang around. She just goes around, does whatever that she needs to, and then she's like, okay, let's head home. So yeah,
That's good. No, she
yeah,
knows how to handle it. तो
yeah.
मैं आपके एक दो इंटरव्यू देख रही थी तो एक इंटरेस्टिंग कहानी थी कि आपको तीन चार आंटियों ने घेर लिया था एक दफा रिगार्डिंग योर कैरेक्टर वो जरा मजे का थोड़ा
Yeah,
वीडियो था
yeah. So I did this drama by the name of Khas, and उसके आखिरी किस्त में होता ही है कि आफ्टर सब जो मसले गुजरते हैं, सो वो हैप्पी एंडिंग की तरफ कहानी जारी होती है कि मेरी उस खातून से सनम से शादी हो जाती है, सनम बलोच से, एंड ऑल ऑफ अ सडन the script writer has a plan, and she's like, let's kill him.
Oh my god.
So while everybody was really happy, oh, finally, that's so cute, they got together, and it's all sorted, and through all this the trouble that both of them went through, so I died. अब वो हुआ ये कि I was shooting some promotional video for a brand inside the mall, and while we were shooting it, तो वो लोग आ गए, and उनमें से एक आंटी आ गई वहां पे. अच्छा, and I was supposed to be interacting with people, and
Right.
she stopped everything, और उन्होंने मुझे कोई 5 मिनट का एक लेक्चर दिया जिसमें उन्होंने डांटा मुझे कि आपको शर्म नहीं आई, आप मरे क्यों आप. अब मैं उनको कह रहा हूँ कि आंटी, यू नो चुप
नुमांदन
रहे. हाँ, नहीं तू बड़ा गलत किया ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਆਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਹਮ ਟੀਵੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਜੀ ਚੰਗਾ ਭਲਾ ਉਹਦਾ घर पास किया तो पता नहीं क्या क्या, और मैं कह रहा हूँ हाँ जी जी बिल्कुल बहुत गलत हुआ है, मैं आपके साथ हूँ, मगर मैंने नहीं, इसमें मेरा कोई लेना देना नहीं है. सो या ये इस तरह की इंस्टेंसेस होते हैं, एंड आई एम नॉट द फर्स्ट वन टू रिसीव सच यू नो a
Scolding.
criticism over or scolding over something that I had no I had nothing to do with.
Right, right. No, but these are funny things. These things make life
हाँ,
interesting,
हाँ.
obviously. So आगे जाके, so like let's talk a little bit about music and what you want to, how are you going forward? Like what are some of the people, maybe artists that you would like to collaborate with that you haven't had a chance to collaborate with? Yeah, go ahead.
I think that more than collaborations, unfortunately, I haven't been able to put out a lot of music. Abhi, even with my band, there are so many songs that I had written, and they never saw the light of day. And yeah, so I think I want to put out more music, but again, अभी म्यूजिक बाहर निकालने का फायदा ये नहीं है क्योंकि there are no concerts happening.
Right.
मैं कर भी दूंगा, I'm not going to get to play those songs to a live audience, which basically kills the whole purpose of making songs.
Yeah, but you must have a lot of time to write. क्योंकि ज़ाहिर है quarantine, all the artists are stuck at home, तो वहाँ पे there's a lot of room for creative thinking and writing.
Yeah, but I think that it's true, but it's also kind of not true, because what happens is that you get ideas, you learn by interacting with people. The problem with Corona was and is that you don't get to interact with a lot of people. So a lot of your creativity also goes down. So what I did during the past 2-3 months is that I really worked on my fitness, and I've been running a lot. I've been cycling a lot. So that's one thing other than just doing music. So the time ki jo aap baat kar rahi hain, in a lot of my free time, I've been doing a lot of physical activity, running around and all of that.
That's nice. Come back with a bang. जब सब कुछ खुल जाएगा, new and improved.
Yeah, because I feel that, I've been a little overweight in most of my TV projects, because I once you get in that rut of
Hmm.
one set to another,
Yeah.
and the lifestyle is that कि आपने 12 से 13 से 14 घंटे आप काम कर रहे हैं,
Hmm.
you don't get any time for your own self, to
Mhm.
work on yourself. So this has been a really good blessing in disguise, I believe, for people who really needed some time on their own to,
Yeah.
work on themselves.
बिल्कुल
So
बिल्कुल.
ये वक्त अच्छा गुजरा है अभी तक तो, as far as this is concerned.
It's therapy in itself, right? Just the
It
physical
is.
activity in the gym and everything. So
It is. It
yeah,
is.
yeah,
It is.
that's good. So
Yeah.
आगे जाके, as far as acting goes, what are some of the things? Do you write? Would you be interested in taking a part over just the acting aspect? Would you be interested in directing or producing projects all by yourself, or no?
No, not really. No, well, not at this point, because right now I just feel that there's a long way to go before I feel comfortable acting.
Hmm.
And people are expecting me to improve and get better.
Yeah.
So I think that I really want to be working on my acting for now, and I don't want to get into production and all of that.
Right. Right.
That's not what I want to do.
Well, music seems to be like, I watched your Coke Studio performance with Kurtal and Baloch, and like I
Yeah.
was telling the producers, I'm like, am I allowed to say this? I was saying it's a badass performance, man. That was
It is.
so good.
It is.
Um,
It,
so that is obviously where you're, I think, most comfortable. So Abhi, show wrap up ho raha hai. So would you mind taking us out with another tune or another song, please?
okay. I'll just do
Finish.
another song that I've written recently. Uh, बोलो 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 तो सही क्या हुआ हमसे जो भी हुई है खता, बोलो ना दूर जाना ही था तो क्योंकि ये वादे हमसे चले जाना ही था, तो अलविदा अलविदा ही कह के बिछड़ते, न कहा न सुना न आता न पता, चल दिए कहा कुछ तो बताओ, न कहा न सुना न आता न पता, खो गई कहा कुछ तो बताओ।
Excellent. What a perfect finale to a wonderful interview and great show. Thank you so much, Haroon,
Thank
for
you.
being with us and talking with us. It was a total pleasure. And
Thank you.
look forward to seeing you bounce back and new and improved with musically, acting wise, and everything. So very much.
Thank you for all these well wishes and all, and it was very nice being on the show, and thank you for having me on the show.
Excellent. And I hope our viewers enjoyed that. And we will be back with much more in our next episode. Thank you for watching.
Bye bye.